There's a Dutch saying, and it goes, kijk verder dan je neus lang is. And what it means is, look a little bit further than what people show you, or what people try to show you. Try to investigate for yourself. Open your heart, open your eyes to what's going on over here. And inshallah, maybe you'll change your mind and you see that many of the people here came here for the right reasons. You can't just be watching how hundreds and thousands of people are getting slaughtered. And you're just... I feel sorry for the people back home. That's my honest opinion. How can you be sitting at home?
In Syrië gaat hij gekleed in zijn Nederlandse legeruniform, inclusief baret. Alleen de emblemen zijn vervangen. YILMAZ was beroepsmilitair bij de Koninklijke Landmacht.
In the Dutch military, soldaat tweede klas, a soldier second class. Maybe a month or 2 months before I was being promoted, I decided to leave. Right knee, you can either sit on your knee or hold it up like this, is no problem. Your elbow is resting on your knee, or on your left knee. Your left elbow is resting on your left knee. Your right knee is on the floor. If you want a little bit more support, you could turn your leg in.
De kennis uit het Nederlandse leger gebruikt hij nu in Syrië om jihadisten op te leiden. Hij geeft er schietoefeningen.
Relax. Most of the people here, I think maybe over 90% of the people here, have never ever even fired a bullet in their lives, let alone participate in an actual battlefield or whatsoever. So what we're doing right now, and the purpose of all this is, I was approached by a brother that I love and that I respect, and because he knows my background, he asked me, could you give some of my fighters some extra tips and tools. We'll supply the bullets, we'll supply everything you need, so that when we ship them out, and when there's a firefight, and when there's contact, they know what they're doing. Okay, here are 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I could see all of the hits. Yeah, I told you it was 5, akhi. I knew it.
5, huh?
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, it was 5. Look, akhi, your gun is moving too much.
Give me a gun.
To the
behind it.
left and the right.
Yeah.
And he was too fast. He wasn't taking his time. Relax. You'll see that if you relax, if you take your time, maybe a second or 2 seconds longer, you'll be in this area. The purpose behind it is, first and foremost, the question you should ask is, what is their purpose being here? And their purpose being here is fighting fi sabilillah for the oppressed Syrian people. It's been 2.5, almost 3 years now, and nobody's doing anything. These people came here with a noble cause, a purpose of helping the Syrian people.
If what they're doing is something good and something noble, why do they have their faces covered?
These brothers cover their faces purely for security reasons. They would love to show their faces. They would love to show their faces and tell the world why they're here and what they're doing. But if they would, it would have huge consequences back home. For example, myself, the police has been to my house a couple of times. When they want to travel, they get questioned. My sisters at school, people say, your brother's this, your brother's that. So these people, they don't want to look scary, they don't want to terrorize people or whatsoever. The only reason why they're covering their faces is because they love their families back home and they want them to live their lives in peace, and they don't want any negative consequences upon the family of them being here. Yalla, 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 yalla! Fire! Hold fire! Hold fire! My gun jammed. No problem.
People back in Holland
No.
might say some of them might say, you've betrayed us because you've learned these skills from us, and now you're teaching these people. For someone to say something like that, how would you respond to them?
If the Dutch forces, would send a unit or fighters to Syria to help the oppressed people, I would be the first one to sign up for the Dutch army. But nobody's doing anything. So why, when people want to do something to help these people and to make a change, is it a problem? Or am I a traitor? I mean, it makes no sense to me, wallahi.
Do you have any inclinations towards doing any sorts of attacks inside of Holland?
No. No. I came to Syria for Syria only. I didn't come to Syria to learn how to make bombs or this or that and to go back. That's not the mentality many of these fighters here have. We came here, basically, and I know it sounds harsh, but many of the brothers here, including myself, we came here to die. So us going back is not part of our perspective here. I mean, it's a big sacrifice, and there's a lot of work to be done. So why should I even think about Holland or Europe? It's a closed chapter for me.
It's a serious question, but it's on the hearts and minds of a lot of people.
Are you married?
No, that might be on some people's minds, but are you a part of al-Qa'idah, and if you are, why?
SubhanAllah, I was, to be honest, I thought that was going to be one of the first questions you would ask me, but I was waiting for this question. What people should understand, and wallahi, is that not everybody that comes from Europe or wherever they come from, be it Asia, Europe, or America, Canada, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean per definition that these people automatically, as soon as they cross the border, that they're part of al-Qaeda. A lot of people think he left his house because he's radicalized. He left his house because he's disturbed. He left his house because he's emotional, etc. These are standard things that the media try to feed the people. One of these things that they try to do is whoever comes to Syria as a foreigner is by definition al-Qaeda. In my case, there's no such thing. The brothers of al-Qaeda, they're here, they're fighting. It's known, everybody knows this. But me being here in Syria fighting does not mean per definition that I'm part of al-Qaeda. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I think the main goal of many of the people here, even including the Syrians themselves, is protecting and defending the innocent people of Syria. I mean, it's been almost 3 years now. Enough is enough. When is it going to end? When I speak to the people, they smile, but at the same time they're asking me, when is this going to end? When can we go back home? So that being the first and the most important objective is getting these people back home, okay? Second of all, and also very important for most of the fighters here, is Islamic law. We want the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be uppermost. We ourselves came from the West. We understand the systems of the West. We've seen with our own eyes what the West is doing in crisis situations like this. We don't want this anymore. An Islamic state built upon Islamic principles will always defend the rights of the innocent and of the people living in its borders. So this is what we want. Bismillah.
What about the guy with the sheep?
Huh?
You hold a grudge against the people of Holland. And some of them are afraid that one day, you yourself, you know, you've had the training from the military, you've had the training from being in jihad, that they just might be afraid that you might come back one day. I mean, what would you say to those people?
SubhanAllah, knowing Holland, they should be worried about other things, with criminals and pedophiles roaming the streets. But I understand their fear, Yani. It's not that I have a wall and I don't understand why these people are afraid. Don't worry about me. I've chosen this path for myself. And even if I would come back, I would just eat kapsalon and maybe some sushi, have some Dr. Pepper, just give my mother a big warm hug, sit with the family. I'm not out there, or I'm not out there. I've never been a violent person towards people that are not violent towards me. Not